How's it going, YouTube? Chris here with my home theater. We got a brand new video for you this afternoon. And I know some of you might be thinking, you got glasses on. Well, I do wear glasses. Most of the time I wear contacts and I'm out right now. But just bear with me on my glasses. I hope there's not no glare on them. But anyway, guys, I wanted to talk with you guys about something that I had mentioned in another video that I did on some of my favorite movies, 4K movies, sounding movies. I wanted to do this video and talk about some of my, what I consider good sounding movies that are non-object based, which would be no Atmos or no DTS X. So this will be basically DTS HD Master. I think most of them probably will be DTS HD Master. And but anyway, they're not DTS X, they're not Dolby Atmos, and I just think they're awesome sounding movies. And I know if they, and some of these will never see a Atmos or a DTS X to my knowledge, but some will eventually down the road. But I just wanted to cover what I think is some awesome just bed layer 7.1, 5.1 sounds that are just awesome. And I want to cover these tonight. And I could have grabbed, I probably could have grabbed another 15, 20 movies. But just, you know, when I thought about it, these are the movies that come to my mind. And we'll cover these right now. And hopefully this is going to get a 4K release and have a good Atmos track or something like that. And this is Pearl Harbor. And I really think that this movie sounds awesome. Now this is a Dolby Digital track, and it sounds phenomenal, especially, you know, with the fighting scenes and airplanes and stuff like that. But it's a good sounding movie, and I've done a lot of demos, you know, especially when they attack Pearl Harbor and stuff, and I think it's just a great film too. I really like it, and so. I mean, this is a Jerry Bruckheimer, Michael Bay. So, I mean, I could have grabbed every single one of their films. And they have an awesome mix, even on standard Blu-ray, even on DVD. I mean, their movies sounded awesome. So, I say Pearl Harbor is one of them that's really good. And this is one that I mentioned in another video of what I thought was some best sounding 4K Dolby Atmos movies that I had in my collection and stuff. And this is one that I mentioned, and this is the Final Fantasy Kingsglaive. Now this one was not in a Dolby Atmos like the other two are. Now the Spirits Within is far superior to all three of the movies, but this one is in the it's in the Dolby Audio, and it's in DTS HD audio. And I'm telling you, this movie sounds real good. I mean, it's got a good sound to it, and you definitely, you know, you wouldn't be lacking if you played this movie in your on your system. And it's got a, you know, Sean Bean, Aaron Paul. It's got a pretty much an all-star cast as the other ones do, and it's just a great film. And it's all animated, computer animated stuff, and man, it sounds really good to be a, you know, just a regular DTS HD mix. Really like the film. If you don't have that, I'd definitely say check it out. Now, here's another Jerry Bruckheimer, and it's Armageddon. Now, I love this movie, and it definitely needs a 4K with an Atmos or DTS X mix, but I'm telling you, this sounds pretty doggone good in the 5.1. HD Master, and it's a good movie. I've always demoed this. Just, I mean, you can just pick a scene, anything that happens, man. I mean, they're all in it. They crank up. To me, I feel like they just crank the bass up, surround sound, explosions, and all that stuff. I mean, Jerry Bruckheimer, Michael Bay. I mean, they're known for that stuff, and man, this does not disappoint. And you can put this movie in, and I mean, it hangs in with a lot of today's movies. Like I say, even though it's not Dolby Atmos or DTS X, I mean, you can use your up mixer, DTS X, Neural X, and I use that a lot. Matter of fact, I use it on everything that's DTS. And but these movies just sound really good, and hey, you won't be disappointed in that. So here's another movie, and I really want this on 4K, and it is Stargate. And this version here has a 7.1 DTS HD mix. It is out of this world. And I do not know why they haven't got this on 4K. I don't know if this was the very first Dolby Digital movie, but it was one of the first. I remember on Laserdiscs, when they were advertising what they called AC3, and that's what it was called back in the day, the Dolby Digital, which actually give you a 5.1 sound. This was after Pro Logic. And I know Stargate was highly put out there on Laserdisc with that, and I mean, it's just, to me, it's just a lot of scenes, you know, when they're just getting on the planet, and they are in the little in the pyramid or whatever, and the giant ship comes down on top of them, just the base, and when that ship lands and all that stuff, the ship's panning by when they fighting and stuff. I mean, it's just a great sounding movie, and man, I'm telling you, still demo worthy to this day, in my opinion. Let's go to another movie. This is a 4K movie, and I never could understand really why they didn't do this in anything other than DTS HD mastering. This is Love and Monsters, and I didn't know anything about this movie when I bought it, and this movie it's awesome. I think it's good. It's kind of crazy and weird and stuff, but it's a really good movie, and I love the way it sounds. And like I say, it's just one of the movies that come to my mind. When I bought it, I was like, man, I can't believe this ain't in DTS:X or Dolby Atmos. And then when I put it in my system, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it sounds just as good. And just a great film. And this will give you system of workout too. All these monsters and different stuff that's in there. Just good film. I like it. And I always say it's a good sounding mix that they have. So I'm going to switch gears to, we're going to be talking about for the next few movies is Christopher Nolan films. I mean, he's not going to do a Atmos or DTS:X, but his films do sound good. Sometimes the dialogue's hard to hear in some of his films, but the three that I picked out, to me, the sound is amazing on them. And the first one is Dunkirk. Dunkirk is a fantastic war movie, so you know it's a war movie, it's going to sound good. But it's just a DTS HD mix, and it's mixed hot, and I like it, and it's just awesome. And you won't go wrong with this film, and I know most everybody has everything Christopher Nolan, but this is a good movie, and it's good for demos. And I was watching this one the other night, and I could have picked the other two up and brought them in here as well. But I think this is one of my favorites right here, and it's Dark Knight Batman. But this movie sounds amazing. I'm telling you, it was shaking the whole house, the bass and just everything. I really like the film, but there's a lot of action in it. There's a lot of explosions and crashes and shooting and just all kinds of stuff. And I think for it not to be a Atmos or a DTS:X mix, I'm telling you, this is phenomenal. And then Christopher Nolan does do good with non-object based sound, and he does good at it, but he needs to crank the center channel up a bit, the dialogue. But in these two films and the next one, I didn't see much of an issue with that. Great film, awesome sound, definitely can't go wrong with that one. The next one is Interstellar. Now, when I first watched this movie, I didn't half understand it. My children hated it, but I've learned to not really learn. I watched it again, and it's just, this is a phenomenal film to me. And the sound, it's kind of, it seems like a grand scale or something like that. Anyway, I like this movie. The sound is awesome, and I mean, you just can't go wrong. Like I say, Christopher Nolan, he does a fantastic job. And like I say, when I was thinking about this, I was thinking about this video at work today, and of course this one and all these other ones were on my mind. But just fantastic job. In the beginning, when I first started getting back in the home theater and buying Christopher Nolan films, I was like, why doesn't he do the object-based? But you know, I've come to realize that, you know, his films, they sound pretty darn good not to be object-based. So I don't complain or whine about it. He puts out a film, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna watch it, and to me it hangs in there with some of the rest of them. So I'm good. The next one, with what's at the theaters right now, Avatar: A Way of Water. I know when it comes out, it's gonna sound good. But the original Avatar, I mean, I love this movie. It's the top grossing movie all time. $2.9 something billion, almost $3 billion worldwide at the theaters, and that's amazing, guys. And now Endgame is, I think, 2.7 billion, and Titanic is right behind that, and Avatar 2 is number 4 now. It just passed Force Awakens the weekend. So now James Cameron has 3 of the top 4 grossing movies of all time, and that's something to be said about this guy. He's awesome, and I should have brought Titanic in with this. Titanic is it's a fantastic film. I remember having it back on Laserdisc, and at the time that was the only way you could get it on DTS, and which we know DTS back then, and maybe even now. I know Atmos is good, but back then DTS was far superior, and on Laserdisc, Titanic and DTS was out of this world. So hopefully Titanic's coming out, hopefully Avatar's coming out, but right now, I'll tell you what, even in this, I think it's mixed in Dolby Digital. Let me look, let's see. Nope, it's actually DTS. It actually has a Dolby Digital track, but it's DTS. And man, this is a fantastic, I love the movie. And it has a really good sound, and it's awesome. And can't wait. Hopefully it comes out on 4K and we get an Atmos track, but until then, hey, you won't be disappointed in this. Will not. So lastly, I only done 10 movies, and these were in no particular order. I just kind of picked them up. But this movie, it needs a sequel, I think, and it needs a 4K release. And definitely, I mean, I could have an Atmos or DTSX track, but this is a very underrated movie, one of my favorites, and it is Need for Speed. I think they did a fantastic job, you know, following kind of how the video game is with the cutscenes and the way they done it in here and the cutscenes in the video game. I think they did a fantastic job. It didn't get a whole lot of hype. I don't know if it got hype or not, but it just did not do well at the theaters, or people didn't like it at the time. I just think it's an underrated film, but this is in a DTS HD Master 7.1, and it's an aggressive mix, and it is fantastic. I love the movie. I love cars anyway, and these has all the high-end cars, and that Mustang, you know, it's a custom Mustang that they built for this movie, and man, that thing was beautiful. That thing was beautiful, but you ain't gonna go wrong. If you like the movie and you don't have it, hey, I highly suggest picking it up, because it will definitely give you a system of workout, as all these other movies will. And I hope that's kind of lets y'all guys know. I know most of you probably have some of them movies, or if not, have them all. But I'm telling you guys, I want to try to share some of the things that I enjoy, and man, I enjoy putting those movies in and cranking them up. and listening to them, and man, it's just music to my ears, and I really enjoy that. But guys, that's it. That's my little video for you this afternoon, tonight. Been wanting to do that. I mean, like I said, I could have brought all of Christopher Nolan's films. Could have brought James Cameron, Titanic. Definitely, I should have brought it, but it's definitely an honorable mention. It's fantastic on the Blu-ray. You know, especially when the ship starts cracking and, you know, sinking and stuff, is when it sounds really good. But it's just a good sounding mix too, also. And man, I could have brought, like I said, all of Jerry Bruckheimer's. I could have brought The Rock. Could have brought Con Air. Gone in 60 Seconds. All those movies are they're phenomenal. Even though they're not an object based, they're just a regular. Most of them be a DTS HD Master mix. So pick them up, guys. If you don't have them, pick them up. They'll give your system a workout, and it'll make you smile when you play them movies. So anyway, guys, that's my video for tonight. As you can see behind me, I got my 2 other acoustic panels came in today, and I went ahead and put them up before I shot the video. And we rolling on with the room, and got more coming real soon. And I hope everybody has a good week. We'll see you again, you know, maybe toward the end of the week or next week.